Liam, can I kiss you?
Yeah.
Would that be out of order? Scream, can we talk about the massive play Liam just made to save the entire game?
Hey, what's up guys, this is Liam or Weagle on Your Overwatch, back with a new video. Today, we're going to go through a guide of sorts of Reinhardt. I want to go through it. I've been through some stuff of his before, but I think it's very important to teach people how important Rein is to the game, but also how important it is to play him to a certain level, because if you don't, it's very, very easy to throw the game. So this is going to be a mixed guide of different things, and the first thing I want to show you is an example where me and FREEDO were actually playing on live stream. We landed a team and one guy insisted on going Reinhardt, which is usually nice in a game, particularly in solo queue. People think you should have a Rein, and a lot of the time it can be good, although it's not as necessary as people think. I was happy with the decision. In the first round though, and I'll put some of these examples on screen, he wouldn't pin into the enemy team. He wouldn't initiate on the enemy team, but what would happen is their Rein would then pin him, putting us at a massive disadvantage. This gives his enemy not only the confidence to jump us, but we also don't have a shield, and it ended very, very badly in the first couple of rounds. Now, he was blaming our diva. He was blaming the fact that he couldn't pin the enemy team because X, Y, or Z. But at the end of the day, if you're going to get pinned, you have to at least make it neutral by making the counter pin. But not only was he losing the pin battle, which is super important as Reinhardt not to lose, he also wasn't getting ultimate value either. His hammer downs weren't hitting anything, so he was getting pretty much no use in the game whatsoever. So after the first round, we'd already noticed this and we'd asked him to change. And we were live streaming at the time, and the chat was saying, stop being toxic to the guy, why don't you go Reinhardt? So I said to this guy, could you please swap? Because, you know, you're just not doing the job. How would you say that to someone without it being toxic? It's difficult. We were saying, could you swap? I'll go Reinhardt. And he wouldn't, and he insisted on doing it. And more of the same happened again. I think he made one decent play out of the first 2 or 3 rounds, and that was it. And it was very, very rough up until that point. So I was like, dude, please can you swap? Let me go Reinhardt. I'm not trying to be toxic. I want you to know how important it is. The Reinhardt is dominating ours, and that is an instant loss, guys. If you're ever in a game and your Reinhardt's losing the pin battles, the fire strike battles, whatever it may be, Rein v Rein is very important. I've done a guide on it before, and I can link that in the description. You guys can go and check it out. Super, super important. So what happened then was I went Reinhardt. Eventually, this guy, I was like, look, I'm not being toxic. Give me Rein. So he gives me Rein. So I think what's important to note before we get into this is I'm not a Reinhardt main. I've got time in him. I understand the concepts of how he works, but he's not my main hero in the game. So what I do isn't perfect, but it's important to show all of it. But the first thing I do is a mistake. I know the enemy Rein's going to pin me, and I take the initiation to pin him. I mess it up, I miss all the walls, I get booped around, and I get wrecked. But I lose the fight there because we don't follow up on it, I don't pin in the right place, etc, etc. Then the trickle happens, the solo queue trickle. Now, I don't know how long this lasts for, but it's for a lot of the point. And I'm stood there trying to regen my shield, so we've got a full shield for the next fight, but then Zarya trickles, and then Diva trickles, and then Anna trickles, and then they keep doing it for quite some time until I sit in a corner and refuse to put my shield up until we regroup. So we regroup as a team and we go in again. Now, you'll see that I hit the initiation pin, and this is how important it is. We've lost every fight up until this point, but I do pin the Rein, and yeah, they may save him a little bit, but it's enough for us to get in the back line, to confirm some kills, win out the frag battle. From there, it's a little bit messy, and that's down to me not being great at Rein, it's down to my team being all over the place, it's down to solo queue and many things, but we win the fight pretty outright from there. Diva does decide to ult for whatever reason, but he doesn't kill any of us. I just kind of keep my shield up to protect the team. Now, the enemy Rein does come in here, and we Zarya ult, and she gets slept. So here I actually decide to follow up on my own Earth Shatter. Now, this can be a mistake to Earth Shatter into a crowd-controlled ultimate already, but we had to win. You'll see that the time's ticking up for the enemies, and we really had to win this fight. And we did. Fortunately, I get a couple of nice swings and a nice fire strike, and we hold out the point just there. Now, the only thing that's really different in our game right now, we're still all over the place, it's still messy, it makes no sense. The only difference is I hit a pin. And that's how important this Rein thing is. Our guy wouldn't hit a pin, he wouldn't hit an Earth Shatter, and you'll see in a minute how important them two things really are. Now, their Rein, again, is more of an aggressive Rein, kind of like I am. I knew he was going to pin me in this upcoming fight. We pin into each other, I save my team, and I die. But because we were at least neutral in that fight, we take out their main DPS, and my team are able to follow up and win the fight from there. In a second, I'll respawn in and come in, but just that tiny, tiny little niche scenario where I've hit the pin, rather than being pinned, is the difference in a team fight. And I've done the importance of tanking before, I spoke about this, but I don't think people realise how important this is just on Rein alone. Once again, I come in with the hammer down. Their Ana is playing exceptional, but not well enough to follow up on all that damage we've done to everyone. Now, the other thing is when to back off as Rein as well. Your shield to your pin ratio is very important, and how often you should be swinging your hammer. And you'll see that I very often jump up and down in between dropping the shield and keeping it up so that the shield lasts longer and we can sustain for longer too. Again, here, I'm jumping around without my shield up so that when they come in for the fight, we also have an even shield battle. Now, we got another pick, and they decide to come in actually a man down. Another solo queue issue. Once more, again, Rein v Rein battle. I pin the diva, I get slept, but we grab again. That initiation is followed up on. It has to be, because if it isn't, there's a problem. Now, I know some people in the comments will say, but Weagle, no one ever follows up when I pin as Rein. And then that's a completely different story. We've spoke recently very in depth about solo queue meta and how people play in solo queue, and simply what you don't do in solo queue is play something if it's not working. There's no point in playing Rein if no one's behind your shield, or if you're not good at it. There's no point playing Lucio if no one speed boosts. And when we use these examples, we don't mean, oh well, for the rest of time you should never have a Rein, or for the rest of the time you should always have a Rein, or when I made a Tracer video about Tracer's good right now, it doesn't mean use her every game. You have to have an analytical mind about the game and review in your own brain when you should be implementing these different tactics. If Rein isn't working, swap it. The only reason I went Rein was because this guy wouldn't go anything else. I was like, dude, give me Rein, take anything, whatever you want to do, pick Hanzo, I'll take Rein. And you'll see in this game that just me being average on Rein and just making a few small plays and hitting a few pins was the difference to completely swing around the team fight. Now, the last fight that happens, I'm the only guy with an ult, and in the other game, our guy didn't hit anything down really with his hammers. They weren't followed up on, or they didn't even hit anything at all. The enemy team have 3 or 4 ults. They come in, and it's the opening clip to this video. I knock down the whole team, get rid of the soldier. He has to go straight away. We get rid of the Ana too. I do believe I may hit a fire strike on the Rein. I turn around, I swing at Zarya, Diva, all these different things. And it's just a crazy, crazy play. We had no ults, they had 3 or 4, and we can win the game from that. That's how important Rein is. But you have to make these judgments for yourself, whether you should even be picking him at all, and making sure you hit the initiation. If you're not hitting these pins, if you're not having your shield up at the right time, you're probably better off just taking another hero a lot of the time. And life as a Reinhardt is tough. Usually you need to have a good Ana behind you, because sometimes even if you're playing good on Rein, and the enemy team may not be, if their Ana is leagues beyond yours, their Rein will be healed enough to beat you anyway, even if he is not as good as you are. As you'll see in this game, some of the pins that I managed to land on the enemy Rein or Diva or whatever, we couldn't follow up on the damage because our Ana wouldn't hit her nades into their team a lot of the time, and then their Ana would heal so quickly that we couldn't even finish off the target that I pinned. But the pin was enough for us to initiate and kill people, and that, guys, is the importance of playing Reinhardt appropriately. As I say, I'm not amazing with him, it's just very important to do so. So the mistakes to watch out for, guys: don't have your shield up before a fight. You have to pin as Rein. If you're not, you have no initiation. Yes, sometimes people can take Rein and just shield with it, and if both teams have a Rein that doesn't really play him, that's fine. But if you're down a Rein, if their Rein is good and yours is just someone picking it for the team, you're usually better off not having one at all, making horrible split fights and a mess of a game. But that's how it's going to work if your Rein is nowhere near as good as theirs. So let me know what you think in the comments. Have you had issues with Reinhardts before? Because I know that I get them quite often. And trying to ask someone to swap without sounding toxic is very difficult in the game. Let us know what you think. Be sure to check out our Twitter, our Discord, and our Twitch, where we tweet, where we stream, and also where you guys can group up with each other and find the Reinhardt of your dreams. Be sure to drop a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed, and have a great day as always. Take care and peace, people.